joke. You're the only one in the house that can't take a joke and gotta act like a...
So basically, Daddy05 is a YouTuber who used to do pranks with people. Basically, he did pranks. So he did pranks. Yes, basically, Daddy05 did pranks with his kids and did some really funny pranks back in the days. And he did a lot of nice subscriber specials, like drinking pepper as a drink. And he just did a lot of funny things. However, this is the issue with when money becomes all you want. When basically, after he started to do all these really nice and fun challenges, he then basically decided to switch. Like, he literally decided to switch differently. He decided to switch to a different row, and that's he wants more money. So there's this one kid that he had, and he wanted to abuse him for YouTube money. Now these were called pranks. Now basically, there's this one kid. Now the youngest kid, 10-year-old Cody, who had ODD. Basically, it's a really serious disease, and basically what happens is if you have ODD, then that means that you get easily triggered by something, and you just hear things different, you might get offended easily. So that's something like that. It's a very serious disease, and if it doesn't get treated, then it could be a huge depression and suicidal thought issue. Trust me, it's happened to me before. Now basically, yeah. Now what happened is all of this is, yeah. Now basically, Daddy05 did a lot of bad things when he was in his prime on his YouTube channel. He did a lot of pranks like, send Cody up for adoption prank. But basically, he does a whole bunch of really mean pranks, and he just says that they're pranks, right? And then like he literally just says it's just a prank, bro, and things like that. And very mean, like making Cody get lost at a store, literally making him get lost at a store. He cries, and the parents do something and blame him on it. And yeah, or they just yell at him for no reason. Like sometimes every single day it would just be like a war house. They just yell at people, and they just yell at him. And even if he just walked down the stairs, he'd say, "Clean your room right now, Cody." And he cleaned his room. And he's like, "Scrub the toilet." He scrubbed the toilet. Clean your room. He cleaned his room. Scrub the toilet. Like in the middle of everything that he was doing, like he just couldn't win. And all of this unfairness definitely did come in mind when you do think of all the things that unfairness can do to people. This is really bad, and after Cody scraped his arm at school trying to commit suicide, basically, instead of helping Cody, his dad simply yelled at him in consequence, which can make it worse, because it's definitely happened to me before. There's a reason why I have a bruise on my head. Anyways, but that's a story for another day. So, basically, Daddy05 did a lot of mean things to his kids, and basically, like, he does a lot of bad things. He wants to sleep at school because he feels safer. And then, like, he did it, and he even didn't take Cody to Disneyland. Now, the reason for this is because he threw human feces. Now, but then a doctor later responded to the video saying that throwing human feces could be a mental disease, and he should go to therapy easily. But that doesn't excuse the fact that they didn't take him, and he did more bad things to himself. Now, basically, Cody, you know how that feeling that, he's a kid, and he thinks that he did everything wrong. Like, he thinks that he messed up the whole entire world. He thinks he does everything. They lie and say that they're going to do a big surprise, but because of Cody, they weren't. He just wanted to make Cody feel like he's a whole person, and he did, right? Because he's a 10-year-old kid, right? Like, yeah, and that's how you're trained. That's how your body works. You get trained, and you learn to do things. That's what happens. You get trained, and then you learn to do it. So if you train them to be mean, then they be mean. That's simply how it is. And I know that from fact. Now, basically, even after all of this bad stuff happened, his channel was still up, but people started to dislike the videos. And after the Invisible Ink prank, where they basically just did that, and burning Cody's Pokemon cards and doing this, it was just extremely strict. The house was strict. Now, there's also another issue. It was where, so, that kid, Cody, he's had some experiences, but the Invisible Ink prank made him yell, and it showed really bad violence. Like, literally, it made him yell. Yeah. Heather was bad. If not, Heather was even worse. Now they made an apology video that might as well have been made by Logan Paul, which I think it probably was. But basically,
it's his fault. But
they showed him, and they basically said it was
So people
all
stop
scripted.
editing
They
him?
said,
No, I wanted to take it.
all of the video is
Okay,
scripted.
well,
The whole entire video,
I don't
all the
want to
plot
take him.
is scripted, even though
I
it's not
love the boy,
scripted.
but I don't want to
because
take him because he's
why
bad
would
at
it be
shit,
scripted?
and he's gonna
Why
make
would it be
everyone
scripted?
miserable the
It
whole
was just
time.
ridiculous because it showed actual.
He put
Even if it
poop.
wasn't scripted, why would you joke about that? And two, like it showed actual human responses and actual human bruises that he did to himself. There's other proof. It showed human. It showed human reactions and like kids crying. Like you can't just stage that amount of emotional reactions to something, right? And you can't just stage like I personally don't think there's a 99% chance that he didn't cut himself on purpose just for a YouTube video. And if that happened, that would still be abuse. So then yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that he recorded. So even if it was scripted, the things that he was forced to do to himself for YouTube content was still abuse. Now they basically got taken away. They got taken away to another family, and they're very happy now. But basically what happened was they tried to defend themselves and saying that it was all scripted, but it definitely wasn't. And then they tried to make videos and forcing the kids for hours to say, I'm happy, and yeah, like that, stuff like that. The channel was deleted, and now they have a website and act like absolutely nothing happened. It was terrible. But Heather was even worse, though, throughout the time. It was absolutely terrible. And again, with the invisible ink prank. They went on, like they went on a lot of TV shows and talked about how it was all scripted, but it actually wasn't because there's literal proof of the school that Cody cut himself, right? And the fact that the dad didn't do anything about it, that was bad. And it shows actual like emotional reactions to what was happening, right? Like you can't just fake crying like that. That's absolutely impossible. You can't just fake cry like that's impossible. Right. So they got taken away, and they made videos saying that it was scripted, just trying to like defend themselves, but it never worked. I'm happy that they got taken away, but who knows? Like that could be bad. They got probation for 5 years, but heck, but hell, man, like Cody could be traumatized, and there was a whole bunch of other kids. But the issue is that they weren't picked on like Cody. Basically, they're all treated nicely, and they're all getting the big surprises, which is called favoritism. I know that is because I've definitely went through a lot of favoritism in my life before. So that's the rise and fall of Daddy 05.